So welcome to the second classroom,
The third classroom.
the
Yes.
third classroom,
That's
the
us.
third classroom.
And this we are discussing the Toddai poetry form. That
Yes,
yeah, that a few intrepid people tried, which was really good.
that's awesome.
And
Yeah, we had
yeah,
several people to go for it, and we'll
yeah,
be going over three of them tonight and the
we
rest
will
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah. So our first one this evening is Sharon,
Mm.
and that's
First, for the people watching who don't know, explain what a todai is.
right. So the Toddai is a Welsh poetry form, and it is built on uneven couplets. The first line being a 10 syllable couplet, line, and the second line a 9 syllable line. But there is a rhyming scheme, and on the eighth syllable is the main rhyme. Then there is a pause, and then there's a syllable, and then the 10th syllable, is the B rhyme, and that it carries down onto the second line, where the B rhyme is floating around the middle of that line, and the A rhyme must link up with the last syllable of the second line. And then you
Yeah.
work down the poem. And on the basic Toddai, these couplets are together in quatrains.
Yes, and for the people who might be having a hard time following along or something, first, VJHD.writer, the Overlord, is in the comment sections. Hi, VJ. Hi,
I,
Overlord. Thank you for moderating. And also, I think that they can put a link in the comments of the post on Instagram that has the exact form of the tie-dye that we are doing that we put up um, like several
yeah,
weeks ago,
yes,
so that people can kind of follow along if they want to.
they can. And it's a fascinating form, but there are some tricks if you miss parts of the way it works.
Yes. Sorry, I was finding it and sending it for
Yeah,
them real fast. So if y'all go to the Instagram page that VJHD places in the comment section, there will be once you get past that first slide, there's going to be something that explains what the Todai is. It'll give you what we
yeah,
call the knitting pattern, and it'll give you an example so that you could follow along on that if you would like to.
that's right. At the moment, we're sticking to the knitting pattern as you see it, because we can when people um, are more adept at doing these forms, there are things you can do within the knitting pattern to enhance the read. So, do we
Right.
read the poem first and then we go through the bits, or shall we just go into, because we are limited with time for this one?
We're limited with time. I've already read the poems
Yep, so have I.
the few weeks ago whenever
Yeah.
uh
Oh, they've been out, haven't they? That's right. When they were done.
yes, so why don't you go ahead and read it since I already have, and then you can go
Right, yeah.
directly into your analysis.
Okie dokie. So Insomnia Poetry, Sharon, has written this piece, and it
That's
is
ink that's insomnia underscore poetry on
underscore poetry
Instagram.
on IG, absolutely. And so it goes like this: the cyber poets are the new regime. We reign supreme, take over the web, engage both our hearts and heads, bards extreme. Not what we seem, our blood still drips red. The cyber poets take over the world. Our words so bold, a message to send. Our keyboards, not pens, rare as precious pearls. Conversation connoisseurs, new trend. We are the cyber poets, here to stay. So much to say, don't try to stop us. So much to discuss, our verse on display. We're not passe, fingers on the pulse. So it is a super poem. Now, as we work through the first line, we have the cyber poets are and new will be the A rhyme. And then we have a pause, and then we have a regime. So regime will be the B rhyme, regime.
So the A rhyme comes in on the eighth syllable. Then you have
Exactly.
your censura, and then you're
Yeah,
going to have your B rhyme on that 10th syllable that follows the
that's right. And it's
censura.
important.
And then And then on your second line, you come around and your B will be somewhere in the middle of the line and your
Yeah,
A is going to be on the end.
on the end.
And then we're just going to start repeating A,
That's right.
B, C, D, E, F like that.
So the way Sharon's worked it, the A
Hi, Kels.
rhyme, she has new and web. So on that first couplet, she's missed the A rhyme. So we have new and web. We have the E. If we want to play consonant games, we have the E in both. But we were looking for a full rhyme or as near as full rhyme. And with the B rhyme, with regime and ream, yeah, she's hit it on the head. So we have that. So it's a slight miss on the A rhyme. And then on the second couplet of that one, of that first stanza, we have the A rhyme comes in as bards and red. Again, we've missed the A rhyme. Now we could play consonants games with the D's, but we're looking for the A rhyme.
It's Yeah, it's C rhyme,
Yeah,
and I think what you have marked there is because instead of putting the censura between the eighth and ninth syllable, she
yeah,
placed it between the seventh and eighth syllable, and it's very important that that goes between the eighth and ninth syllable.
that's
So
right.
by doing that, that's what messed.
Yeah, because she did have it with head and red, but because she was a syllable too early,
It
she
didn't
missed the
work.
rhyme, which is a bit, yeah. So yeah, she was there. She had written beautifully, but it came in a syllable too early, and that's a
Yes.
fixed rhyme. And then we have
Yes.
stream, a part of extreme, and seam. So they work together really
Hey,
well.
Tommy.
Hi,
Hi,
Tommy.
Casper.
Yeah. Hi, Casper. And yeah, so that's right. So the reason she missed her A rhyme on the second couplet of the first stanza was she was just too early.
Yes. The
And
censura was in the wrong
yeah,
place.
uh, and extreme is two syllables. So if it had been single syllable, then it would have been spot on, and we would have had bars extreme, but it wasn't. So then the second stanza, which I've just lost.
The cyber poets take over the world, our words so bold, a message to send. Our keyboards, not pens, rare as precious pearls, conversation connoisseurs, new trend. Sounds great, sounds
Sounds
beautiful,
it
form
does.
very off.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Unfortunately, because we're breaking into syllables here, and we have a fixed syllable on the first line, a fixed two syllables, and we have a floating syllable on the second line.
Yes,
So
Kels.
yeah, so we have so we end up with on the A rhyme there we have and send. So we miss the A rhyme, but then bold and world they work nicely as a B rhyme.
Yes, and he's saying A rhyme and B rhyme just so that you can kind of keep up
Yeah,
between you go. Realistically, it's not A rhyme and B rhyme because they're not all rhyming together
no,
as it goes down each line. So we're actually to E rhyme and F rhyme,
right.
but I think he's saying A and B just to keep it simplified. Maybe I'm
Keep
not
it
quite sure what
simplified,
you're doing.
but I will work down with that way now because otherwise it get confusing. Um, yeah, so the F rhyme is world and bold, which is the slant rhyme, and that works really well. but unfortunately, and send doesn't. No,
So
it's not.
does world and bold work? Because that's kind of a half rhyme, not a full rhyme, right?
It is, but it's yeah, it works.
Or
Yeah,
is it because of how y'all speak the
that's right, because you've
English?
got ORLD and the OLD that that tucks into a half rhyme or a slant rhyme because
Right.
it works beautifully. When you say it's with verbal, so it works verbally, it works really well, and you can see the link.
Okay.
And then the second part of that stanza, we have it hits badly because we've got precious where our pauses. So we've
Yeah.
split precious, which really doesn't help the rhyming.
No.
So we end up with pre and then trend. And so again, we slightly we go off. And then we have on the second line we have connoisseurs. So we end up with sieurs to link with pearls. So that's very tenuous link. But because it's slant rhyme, we can and it sounds okay working together. It's a very that's tenuous though. It's very close one, but definitely pre and trend are out, and then the
Yes.
yeah
And it's really important to emphasize because I think this is something that people weren't quite getting.
yeah
Is everywhere that there's when there is a censura, that is it's not a hard pause, but it is a definite soft pause,
stop
and it's a stop, and it's almost by using it, you're using it in a way to emphasize what you
exactly
just said. It brings more oomph to what was just
it
said. And so it can't be in the middle of a word.
no no because you spoil it because it sounds unnatural when you're reading that way, and you use the musicality of the whole form. Um, so it means you need to pick your your word or two words after the pause carefully because they
Yes.
need to emphasize your first line, but then allow you to carry on with your second line. Um,
Yes.
so that is that. And
It's
then the
almost like
third,
an enigmatic declaration.
it
It's
is, yeah,
impassioned. Yeah.
it's impassioned. And then the third stanza, which is I and J, we have as our main rhyme, the I rhyme, here and us, which clearly don't work together. And then with the after censure, we've got to stay, and then that goes on to say. So we have stay and say, and yes, that works really nicely for the B rhyme. And then the second couplet on that quatrain, we have on and pulse for our main rhyme, and again, they don't really work together very well. But then we have play and passe. So again, it's another close one. It's very quite a tenuous. Uh, when you linguistically, when you say these play and passe, because you've got the p in both ways, they tend to carry forward.
So are you able to, if it is, um, so this is I and J or L and J, are you
Yeah,
able
I
to
J.
make both of them the same rhyme? Because stay, play are two different.
That's right. It's you ordinarily you would looking for difference, but we've got here yes stay say. You don't need to carry that down because each couplet will stand alone on its rhyme.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I didn't
Yeah,
know if you could have repeating rhyme
and
between between
you
two parts of the couplet.
you could work it because yeah, we have another one in this the ones we're reading where they've used ing four times in one quatrain, and really we've missed the point by doing that.
Right.
But but it's a super poem, but it misses the form.
It does. And what I see when I read Sharon's poem is, one, it's a beautifully written poem.
It
I mean,
is,
as a poem, it is a gorgeous poem
yeah.
to read. But then as we're going, when I'm looking at the way that it's broken down, I think maybe when looking at the pattern every now and then, and it's very easy to do with the
Yeah,
patterns, was there was just a little confusion between where something went, and she just got it off a little bit on a
that's
line
all.
here
Yeah,
and
that's
there,
it.
and
It's
that's
just
it.
and a little bit of word choice.
Yeah.
So it's consciousness because the um, the last stanza with to stay and display after the censura, yeah, they work really well
Yes.
because we have because although like we say we end up with the same rhyme which we didn't intend to have, but they are good words to have after the stop because they've
Right.
got a natural break and you can naturally rhyme them.
Right. Yeah. I think she did a. I think I don't know how many today she's done. I think she did a good job
I think it's a
for
good job. Yeah,
for for trying. And um, we all mess up on these forms, and that's, I think that's something that's important to remember, is this isn't a tearing apart of a poem, this
no,
isn't saying
no,
it's a bad poem, but it is critiquing where it went wrong so that we
that's
can
right.
know next time we do it and all of
Yeah,
us learn together.
yeah, because besides us all sitting here together and writing one as a group, then
Yes,
we're doing this as individuals, so we can see, and then it's good to know where things went awry because it's a great poem and a few bit tweaking, a bit of a different word choice, and yeah, and it will bring it into the form.
yes, absolutely. So thank you for letting us do this, Sharon,
Yes, thank you,
and for
Sharon.
writing to it.
Yes,
And the
because
next,
he's Harry, Hob the poet.
Harry. Could we do Harry after we do Leslie? Because
We
I know he's
can,
not able to be in right now, but he might be by then. He may not.
rightio. Right now, so we do Nashabella. Um,
Leslie.
Beautiful
And
poem.
that and that's Nash, and that is on IG at
On G,
Nashabella, and it
yeah,
also on YouTube at Nashabella.
yeah,
And her name
that's
is
right.
Leslie Levi. Yes,
And another very talented writer. I think we're lucky. We've got so many
I think so too.
people who write beautifully, but who are willing to try things and are willing to say, "Oh, you know, what have I done right? Is there things I can change?" Which I think is amazing. Always, because we all need help. We all do, and it's good to talk amongst ourselves and get these things straight.
I think so as well.
Yeah. So we have creatives conjure visions, plumed birds. Poets find their words, see companions. In the digital world they thrive, pens dream. Their fantasies gleam, magic's alive. Illusions, alliterations on screen, the moon and the sun being scintillations. Their musings, their rhyme so pure, a light. Soft pixels unite, 'tis boredom's cure. Cyber troubadours speak of love worldwide, in prose, implied in the web's grove. They craft in the skies and the tide of flower. Storms become power, their bliss kites glide. The dark, the dark loneliness reappears so sad. Push against it mad, world puppeteers. Beside one another, let's write each line. Devices will shine, verses take flight. And it's surprising how difficult it is to read when you've done gap like little stops between all the syllables because you've mashed the words up. Something,
Yeah,
there you
probably next time should have the two different
go. I
sides, so
think
it'll
so.
be.
I think so. Absolutely. So right. So we have creatives conjure visions, plumed birds. Poets find their words, see companions. And her A rhyme is ons, with both visions and companions.
Yes.
So, yeah. And her B rhyme with birds and words.
Yes.
So, even though they're not they sound like a direct rhyme, but they sound really good. And then on the second couplet, we have thrive and live and dream and gleam. Again, both very good.
But thrive and live are not a rhyme.
No,
But no,
thrive,
that's alive. I'm sorry, you got it wrong. It's alive.
yeah, but it
It's
can't
not
be
magic's alive. It's
yeah, it
alive.
can't be a live because a live is two syllables, so it's just live. We're using live. Thrive is a single syllable, and alive is two.
No, they're magic. No, I'm sorry, you're incorrect.
Magics.
That line is their fantasies gleam, magic's alive.
Yep.
That so it's alive. It's not live.
I mean, it's live rather than live, not like it's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
live. Yeah, live, thrive, and live. Yep. And because we got ve at the end of it, so it works. Yeah, not live, live. Yeah, alive, not live, live.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's me getting confused.
It's okay.
And dream and gleam,
Yes.
which work together well. So plumed birds and penn's dreams both work after the pause. And then our next one is alliterations against scintillations. So we have shuns, which both rhyme up, and then we have screen, and beam. So both they've got a phonetic sound, screen and beam. So as a slant rhyme, they
And
work
it's
well.
not rhyme. And in these kind of poems, they do often say the sound is more important than its
Absolutely,
exactness.
yes, they have to sound right. And when you're
Yes.
saying, like gleam and screen, they they work well. Yeah, so they do work nicely, and screen and beam. Now, with the next um, couplet of that second stanza, we have um, so their rhythms so pure are light, but because rhythms is actually only one syllable.
No, in the US it's two.
No, it's one syllable.
In the US it's
Yeah,
two.
it's the same
Rhythm.
as smile, mile. They're all single syllable
Rhythm.
words. Yeah,
In the US it's two. We don't
yeah,
go
it's rhythm.
we have a clear
Yeah,
two
yeah.
syllable
Well,
rhythm.
that is definitely across Atlantic things because it's a single syllable. In English, it's a single syllable, as in smile, mile.
Yeah, I get what you're saying
Yeah,
because over there y'all will be like rhythm. Y'all say it very
yeah,
differently than we
we
do, but
do.
over here
Yeah,
most people say it's a very distinct two syllable
yeah. So
rhythm.
that is one
So she would
we do that one because
I would let that
to
go.
me,
Yes.
yeah, I'll let it go because to me that is a single syllable word, but that's fine. So that means her pieces they fall in nicely. So you've got light
Yes.
and night, which obviously unite, and you have pure and cure. So they worked okay, but that to me came up as a single syllable word.
Right. Yeah,
So
I get
that's
why it
why
would to you. Because
we
y'all
need to
have
just
some that are the syllables are very different count than what I would hear them as well. So
yeah.
it's one of those where you have to take into consideration where you're
Oh,
at.
absolutely. That's why it's good to talk about it. So that's
Yeah.
fine. So and then the third stanza. Oh no, the second couplet of the second stanza. We have they craft in the skies in the tide a flower. Well, flower is two syllables, so that makes that 11 syllables, not 10. So
Yes. And
yeah.
they're saying, and Kelsey's saying it's a great job, beautiful job, Leslie. And the Overlord had a
Oh, it
problem with
is.
syllables
No,
last night as
it's a
well.
perfect poem. It's a beautiful poem, and because all the breaks are beautifully done, everything works
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but so flower. is a two-syllable word. So
It
it would
is.
be nice to have a flower after the break, but because of the two syllables, it pushes a, and then so that knocks the rhyme for the next line, which would be tide and glide.
And I imagine though I too think flower is two syllables. Depending
Yeah,
upon where you live and how you say it,
yeah,
flower can be said as flower.
yeah. It
Flower.
is.
And it's almost like what you were saying a while ago with the rhythm, how y'all say rhythm.
That's right.
Depending on where you're at, flower would
Yeah,
be like it could. I think she
yeah.
played it loosey with that, loosey goosey
Mm,
with that.
but then,
Um,
but then gone down to use power as two syllables.
Hi,
So
Alyssa.
you can't use power as two syllables and have flower as one syllable.
No, I see what you're
No.
saying, but
But anyway,
I agree with you. I'm
yeah,
just saying I think with her playfulness of words that she likes
yes.
to use,
Oh no,
I
absolutely.
imagine she was
Yeah,
playing with the words.
yes. Yeah,
And,
that's
and
great because verbally it reads beautifully and it's a beautiful rhyme. So this
yeah,
is just really the tiny little things that obviously, and this is across the Atlantic as well, where
yeah,
like we say, rhythm is a single syllable word, but to say it uses two
yeah,
syllables, so that's fine. And flower is a two syllable word.
yeah.
Um,
I
yeah. So anyway, that works really, really,
and
really well.
and Alyssa says that the syllable thing is so hard for her as well, and she's always having to look
Yeah,
them up. Yeah, I have to
yeah.
look up certain ones
And
too.
I've had discussions with other people in different parts of the states on, no, we don't say it like that. And because sometimes they say it in a way, and they will add sort of like seem to be loads of syllables to words where they break it down in a different way. But
Welcome
we,
to the South.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
welcome, yeah, welcome. So we
and the rest is perfect.
and it's good, all good. Yeah, we have pairs and
Hi,
peers, sad and
Angela.
mad, right and flight, and line and shine. Yeah, it is as close to If you read it, it is perfect. It's only because
Yeah, it reads beautifully.
we're looking closely at different things that I mean, and to pick out two little points is quite phenomenal.
Yeah, I still have a problem when we're doing these. And this is something I'm having to wrap my mind around. And
Yeah,
I wonder if other people are having to wrap their mind around it
no
as
doubt,
well.
no
Is
doubt.
that the half rhymes of when it is something that to me does not sound, if I'm thinking half rhyme, I'm thinking like, um, well, I'm not going to be able to think of one now, but it still sounds the same, but maybe it
Yeah,
adds a consonant or something like that. But when it changes that, when it changes the assonants and it's no longer the same vowel sound,
that's
and
right.
it goes from, for example, like grove and love, to me, that is not anything close to a rhyme. And,
No,
but I get that it
it is.
legitimately it is, but
Yeah,
to me, it's not. I,
no,
I have a
no.
hard time hearing that.
And I do likewise. That it's not something I'll choose to work with like that because I think it, it stands out when you're reading it.
Yeah.
But the idea of these is it gives us a wider scope of words to use, where English can be quite restrictive.
Yeah,
So,
I call it an English cheat sheet.
yeah,
I know that's not right, but I truly
yeah,
this is my belief, and I could be extremely wrong because I am uneducated like that. But I
no,
think a bunch of poets were sitting around and they couldn't think of words, and they said, "Well, it looks the same," and they're like, "Yeah, it does. We could call it this. Yeah, let's call it this," so that they could cheat.
that's right. And these people are very esteemed poets. They really are. They're the ones on the world stage or have been
Yeah,
um, for the last few hundred years.
I think it's a
So
cheat sheet.
yeah,
That's my take.
I think we will pick a when we do other lives. We'll pick a few of these out and we will run through them. We'll read them and run through them to see how they've done
Just how
this
much?
and how
Yeah,
it works in. Yes,
yeah,
but yes, a beautiful poem. Just two little points. One is a clear divide between the water and how we perceive a word, and the
yeah,
other one was just a simple hiccup of
yes,
reading it as it was. But
yeah.
yeah, But there, and that is another lovely poem. But
Yeah, I think so. And Casper is secretly writing at the moment. What is he secretly writing?
I
Who
don't know.
knows? But he's
Be
secretly
interesting.
doing it. He
Be
just
interesting.
he just doubted himself though. So are you secretly writing if we all know you're writing, Casper?
Yes.
That's the question. And then for the final one tonight,
With final one tonight is Harry Hob the poet, another astounding writer.
yeah, that's
Um,
Hob the Poet on
yes,
Instagram
on
and
Instagram.
on
Yeah, I keep
YouTube.
forgetting.
Yes,
Yeah,
and he reads for us as well.
he does.
So if y'all haven't followed him, go follow him so that he can
Go
get his
follow him.
count up so that he can read. Yeah.
Fine. So we've got I'm beckoned towards becoming, growing, weak feet slowing, there's no use running. The future holds such potential to fulfill. Stay home, still traumas residential. Climbing up a ladder so high, too steep. Composure I keep, vertigo lie. Ego dragging me down to the ground. Please help. It mutes my yelp of desperate sound. My ascent to higher realm a dream. Easy it would seem to overwhelm. Hope choked by insecurity ruined. Tight noosed, ended just enough to breathe. Cursed author set to write a spell, bewitched. Readers transfixed, said stories to tell. Apprehensions of tomorrow begone. Efforts go wrong deep in the hollow. It's an amazing story, but amazing poem, isn't it?
No, I really enjoyed this poem
Yeah,
whenever I read it.
yeah, that's right. Um, so, yeah, the count is amazingly good. Everything's in place. The first stanza, though, for the first two, the first couplet, just happens to use ing as both his A rhyme and his B rhyme.
Doubling, yeah.
So he's doubled in. Um, it works beautifully and it reads really well. But so this, yeah, it's a very, very minor thing that he's used the same one. And the second couplet, he's got fill, a part of fulfill, and still.
He broke the censura.
He did break the two because he used two and then fulfill. So he used fulfill. So by doing that, he lost his potential and residential, which was his
Yeah,
rhyme. So he ended up with two and residential and tal shall. So he went off on his A rhyme.
yeah.
And then on the second stanza,
Perfect.
we've got high lie and steep keep. So we've ended up with a full rhyme on steep and keep and a sliding rhyme on high and lie. So we've just really switched them over.
How is high and line not a full rhyme just because it's spelled differently? I don't
Because
get
it's
that
different.
because it sounds identical.
It sounds the same. Yeah.
So
So it's
that's a
like
full rhyme if it sounds identical, right?
it depends. It depends. He said he hasn't really got. It's got a similar sound, but it comes. It will come under. I
High
can't remember.
lie.
Yeah, high
High
lie.
lie.
Yeah,
That's a full rhyme sound
yeah.
wise. It doesn't look the same, but sound wise, it's
It's sound
identical.
wise. Yeah, that's right. It's a sound. It's a sounding one rather than the thing. Yeah. So otherwise, we've got full rhyme. If we look at it that way, we've got full rhyme on A and B with steep and keep. But again, it sounds really good. It verbalizes really well.
So
And then
do you only count something as full rhyme if it's visually and sound?
um, not necessarily, but I wouldn't have taken hind lie as full rhyme. I would have said it was
Why?
a slightly slant rhyme.
Why? I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand because I'm not following this because
no,
to me, high lie, it
the
sounds
sound.
identical. So
Yeah.
why is it not a full rhyme?
Right.
Is it because of the spelling? That's
It's
what I'm
just
trying
it's
to understand.
yeah. Yeah. To me, it's the spelling is it's got the same sound, but like steep and keep, we have eep. We both have those, so that's full rhyme.
So for you, for it to be a full rhyme, it has to be spelled as
Has to be
well as
some
sound the
has to be some
same.
similarity there. Yeah.
Okay,
So we've got ground and sound, which again is full rhyme, and we've
right.
got help and yelp, which again is full rhyme. Yeah, it does sound the same. That's why we play games with consonant rhyme, um, assonant rhyme, and all the other things messing around. But we go into more detail again on those. We touched it in our last live, and we go deeper on that.
I guess I guess why I'm confused and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I imagine other people out there who really like to
Yeah,
rhyme are confused. Is that I was always taught in school
yeah.
that even if it's spelled differently, as long as it sounds identical, it's still a full rhyme. Whereas it can be spelled the same, but if it doesn't sound the same, it's not a full rhyme.
Oh,
And so now I hear you telling me that
yeah,
no, it has to have both. And so
yeah.
I'm confused.
Those,
And
yeah,
so I think everybody else is confused. And so
right.
I'm just wanting to kind of,
Yeah.
is this a personal choice, or is this what you were taught? Is this what the rules are as you know them?
It's as I know them, yeah, because we've got in the next one we have like ground and sound and help and yelp. They are all full rhyme, and they're quite
Right,
clearly full rhyme. And then
right.
we have yeah, because we have the same sounds, and they visually work together as well.
But to be just to be
Yeah,
crystal clear, for you, a full rhyme must both sound and visually be
yeah,
identical.
yeah. But with what we're working with now with Welsh poetry, then that sound is all important. So it works perfectly. So that's
I
where the confusion comes in, I think, because we're looking at verbal more than visual.
see, and Kelsey was taught the same thing, and so
Yeah,
I guess that's why I would like I think I would like us to like look up and get clarification
I
on
think
what a full rhyme is
yeah,
because I disagree with you,
yeah.
Mike.
Oh, yeah, I
I
could be wrong.
disagree with
I
you.
could be totally wrong,
Um,
but I looked upon that as not, not totally full rhyme, but could be wrong. And we when we
and I
first
could
time,
be wrong.
when we
It's
first time,
saying, but I
and
do think if we're going to be doing these, we need to know so that
oh,
we
definitely, yeah.
say
But then we've got this English way, American way. Yeah, but we are finding that to a degree. Um,
that could be very well true, Cassie. And what do you mean, Casper? Send it to Mike. Send what to Mike?
oh, we must have been scribbling.
Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you, Caspar. So we're on our next one, our next stanza. We have our A rhyme, and we have higher realm and overwhelm. So realm and whelm is a wee bit tenuous for full rhyme.
To me, it would be a full rhyme.
Yeah, and dream and seem. So, but they work together really well. Yeah, higher realm and overwhelm. So they work really well. They go really well together.
So, Casper, this we're not reading DMs for this tonight,
No,
but
we will.
if you'll send it to me after we continue on forward, we will include it in something, but not for this part of the show. Mike's on a time crunch.
We are. And we have right. We went a bit awry here because we have hope choked by insecurity, ruined. So we end up with ty for our a rhyme sound rather than spelling words that end with the same vowel sounds. Pray, bouquet, way words.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's made it quite clear. Feign,
yeah,
rain, lane do not have to be sound the same.
what Kelsey's wrote in the
That's
room
according to
is
Google. Cool.
rhyme is predominantly a function of sound rather than spelling. That's words that end with the same vowel sounds rhyme. For instance, day, pray, bouquet, way, and words with the same consonant ending sound rhyme. For instance, vein, fame, rain,
They
lane.
do, yeah.
Words do not have to be spelled the same way or
No,
look alike to rhyme. So,
but but high and lie, they have they sound the same, but they have nothing else in common, have they? But
and so they're full
that's
rhyme,
cool. Yeah, that's
but because
good.
they sound.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you for that.
Kelsey.
That's clarified that really well. Um, so we have a funny one going on
Thanks,
here
Casper.
because yes, as well, exactly that way.
Yeah,
So,
Kelsey.
yeah. So we have ty as our a rhyme, but then we have breathe ending the next. So that's clearly out.
Yeah, I can see what he did there. It's a
Yeah,
half rhyme, I think, because security, breathe, he was playing with the E, the
it was
assonance of
yeah,
the E, but
that's
yeah,
right. But then again, we're looking for an a rhyme there or a full
yeah,
rhyme there on our
yeah,
k, and then we have end and ind. So yeah, that was a slant rhyme. When you say the words together, like ruined and loosened, then
yeah,
yeah,
that's
it
not a
works.
full rhyme.
No, it works as a half rhyme, which is what we're looking for on that one, on
Right,
those. And
right.
then on the final stanza, well, we have spell and tell, which are clearly full rhyme, and we have witched and fixed. So and that would be bewitched and transfixed. So yeah, they both
I like it.
have a nice sound.
Hmm.
And then the final couplet, we have tomorrow and hollow, and then gone
Which I like.
and be gone and wrong. So again, yes, that's well, yeah. We've been discussing half rhyme and the way it works, and constant rhyme and assonance rhyme. So there we have it. We have it working really well. So yeah. So besides a major hiccup on ty and breathe, really, anyway, reads perfectly well. So again, only a couple of minor points there.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful poem,
They're all wonderful
powerfully
poems.
spoken as you read. Yes,
Yes,
and
beautifully.
yeah, Kelsey, from what my understanding is, and I
Yeah,
think from what I was looking up, different people use different words for it, like half and slant and
yeah. Off
uh,
rhyme. Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
what I gather is if the vowel sounds slightly different or the consonant sounds slightly different, whether it's assonance or consonants, both of them can be that.
Okay.
But both of them can be the half rhyme or slant rhyme.
Yeah.
It's just depending upon whether it's the vowel or the consonant, depends upon whether the slant or half is in the assonance or the consonants.
Consonants. Uh,
Who cares? I
who
mean,
cares?
really, who cares? It's a half rhyme. Who cares which it
Yeah,
is? It's just good to know, I
doesn't
guess,
matter.
for
And
building up. It's
it's
just
more if it
nitpicking.
sounds good. If it sounds good, it sounds right. Then yeah, it's just right.
Yeah.
It's near as damn it right. We have was a similar but
Yes,
not identical.
exactly.
That's exactly that. Yeah, yeah. Worm and swarm. That's right. And rough and bow, where they have so much the same, but one word, one letter makes them different. What's the one they
And
say?
it sounds.
Yeah, a letter isn't a vowel, and a vowel isn't a letter.
Never heard that.
Yeah, yeah. A letter isn't a vowel, and a vowel isn't a letter.
But a
That was
vowel is
three.
a letter, as
Yeah,
is a consonant. I don't understand.
no, but we go more, and I think we're all learning from here as well. We're all learning from that. Um, we've got some interesting ones tomorrow as well.
Yes, Kelsey, that's what I understood when I
Yeah,
was reading as well as what you said. Um, Kelsey says that on Google it says a slant rhyme is a type of rhyme with words that have similar but not identical sounds. Most slant rhymes are formed by words with identical consonants and different
yeah,
vowels, or vice versa. Worm and swarm are examples of slant rhyme.
they
Yeah,
are. Yeah,
that's what I thought as well, Kelsey.
yeah, that's right on
So
those. And like, well, rough and bow is another one. They look exactly the same. except we have an R and a B, and it changes the
Yeah,
whole meaning of them,
I
the
see
way
what
we
you're
look at them.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're our first three. Yeah, we have some interesting things tomorrow because we have Richards, which is full of enjambment.
Yes. Um, which and I didn't when I read it, I thought like I think it I when I read it, I thought it just wasn't punctuated right, but other than that, it did no.
I've
I
tried
didn't break
every
it
way.
down.
I
Did you?
tried breaking it down, and it went very long. I tried doing it but it's not. It's a great poem. It's fine, lovely poem, but
It's gorgeous poem.
there's
Yeah.
nothing.
It's not as
No,
okay.
no. In the end, I end up. I thought, yeah, it's just
But
take it. It's a lovely poem, but no, it's not a Toddaid poem.
and I think that's something that we need to stress tonight is everybody who wrote to these wrote really
Yeah,
clever, wonderful poems that were so fun to read and so introspective to read in many ways. I enjoyed the poems a lot. And so by it not being a Todai does not make it a bad poem. It just
no,
means that if you're following a form, it does not fit form. And so it can't be called a Todai if it doesn't fit that specific
no,
form.
that's right. But Casper just said worm and warm a slant rhyme. Well,
Yes.
so many words are slant rhyme, and they can use them because they've got a lovely sound and they sound right. That's the main thing about what we do.
Yeah.
If generally speaking, if it sounds right, it is.
Yeah.
And we're just doing this exercise just to see how close they are to the form we have in front of us.
And my understanding when reading on these different types of forms is that sound is much more important than
Yeah,
precise form. I mean, as long as you have your sensors in the right place and you got your syllable
exactly,
counts right, they really want it to be that sing-songy, beautiful, lyrical kind of sound
exactly
that
that. Yeah,
flows.
yeah. Because what we're doing now is, if they read beautifully, it's really quite unnecessary. Um, Providing, like you say, the pause is in the right place, and you have that pause, you have that natural follow-on to give it that musical, lyrical effect.
Yeah. And these poems were never meant to be done in English to begin with. English is a bad language to be um, trying to do them in.
Yes,
So
that's
that's
right.
important to bring out as well, right?
Very much so, because yeah, because we're so restricted on words, and hence slant rhyme, consonant rhyme, assonant rhyme, just to try and expand on word choice.
Yeah. But really enjoyed this.
Really enjoyed this. It's
Um,
brilliant, and it's really worthwhile. And I think we all learn something. And if we don't know, we check up and find out,
I
which is
think
good.
so too.
Yeah.
And um, Casper says
Oh,
he
we'll
learned
have a look at
something
that.
and hopes you both enjoy mine. I went hard for those syllable counts. Tommy says, can you read a proper one, Mike, as an
A proper one.
example?
How much time have we got? Are we okay for time?
Well, we've got 10 minutes and it'll be an hour, but we're fine going over.
Really?
If you're fine,
Wow.
if you're
Yeah.
fine going over, we're fine going over. So if you've got one that you know is totally rule appropriate, by all means read it.
It's funny thing is we gave ourselves about half an hour to do three of these to go through and
I
just roughly.
told you we wouldn't make it in a half an hour. Yeah. One day people will listen to Angelique. I
They
doubt
will
it,
do.
but one day people will.
Right, what have we got here?
And Kelsey says English is one of the most complicated languages. Yes, we make our rules just to break them
It
all,
is.
don't we, though?
Right. Okay. Because I think mine is more verbal than it is anything else. But I'll read it anyway. So clouds scud in, waiting for the rain to start, braiding down darts against window panes, darkening swirling waters, wild torrents. Streaming down its presence felt, I smiled. So sudden, one long thundering downpour, right through life's bright empty score, its sting, taken as one defiant act in flames, as lenses pulled through flames, my reason cracked. Here, I sat on the window seat, alone, watching from my throne the bobbing fleet, their lances wave vertically penance, crack, whilst I grant the lady's chalice. All things flow from this eternal source, along life's watercourse it's fatal, be it good or bad, oh so short or long. I laugh at this song, life's petty mort, and mindful this thoughtful storm soon blows through, lances dip and view the wreckage strewn, or when this foolish speech crumbles, betrayed, adaptions of this play is breach. I think when all is lost and the blood runs cold from the rain gutters golden clouds scud, and the flashing before my eyes a sign as I write a blazing line, what prize? Oh come, forget the ink, the tears, the blood, 'twas washed clean with the flood's joyous years of fallen rain, be it sons or daughters, or words that is all to others done.
I hate to do this to you, Mike, but you missed Censura's too.
I did, yeah, yeah.
So that
I got
is not Tommy's perfect
no,
story.
I got daughters. All right, the blood runs cold. A sign, betrayed, blows through
Eternal
all along.
source.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I mucked up on eternal source because I ended up with that in the source, and then penance is right alone, in flames, downpour, wild torrents, and to start. I missed out on one. I lost it. I lost one.
Yeah, I think the one that's underneath it that blows through, you just put it in the wrong place because if
Yeah,
it's
that's
moved,
right.
it
It's the
would
wrong
still,
place. But eternal source, I messed up there.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it was still, Tommy's like, but it was still awesome. Yes,
yeah,
it was still awesome. And I
yeah.
think this is a perfect choice. This is a perfect way to show that everybody messes up
Oh,
sometimes.
crumbs, yeah. Where we do it, and it's how it sounds. And I liked it because it sounded right. And I thought,
Yeah,
am I going to go back and muck it up? No, I'm not.
yeah,
Because unless you're actually following it, you wouldn't notice.
yeah. And that's all that these are for, is to show people, not going, ooh, it's a bad poem, but
No,
going, it's not correct here. And
no,
just in case we don't know, the person
that's
doing
right.
it may know.
Yeah,
um, it might be a conscious choice, and in the end your poetry is your choice. However, whenever, if you were going to, and another reason to do it is if you were going to submit it to some type of a
yeah,
competition and it is on a form and you did not follow the form precisely, you will get ripped apart.
you will do.
And I
But
mean ripped apart.
yeah.
um,
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely. I'll slip up. And
yeah,
I
Kelsey.
think a lot of the time you can make changes, but providing you know you've made them. Yeah.
And that's the
Um,
importance, isn't it? Is knowing
that's,
you're doing it
yeah.
versus
Yeah, just doing
just
it.
doing it
Yeah,
and not
looking.
being aware.
That's right. Because even when writing sonnets and things, you can write a perfect sonnet and read it, and it's damn awful. But
Yes,
you can write it and have the way you want it to sound in there, and nobody will, unless they actually look at it and pick it apart, they're not going to notice because it sounds right.
exactly.
You can sometimes drop in an extra syllable, providing it's soft, and no one will notice. If it's a hard syllable, then they will notice because you've stated it as you're saying it. But we will
Yes,
have an evening where we discuss William Shakespeare um, because
that would be fun.
so much of his perfect put across writing is not. When you look at
Right.
it, you listen to it, and it's brilliant. But if you do what we're doing now, you say, hang on a minute, he's got 11 syllables here. He's cut that down to 9. And or he's added words that do not really work, but because of the poem, they do work. So,
Yes, I think so. And I think because, but don't give it away. Don't give it away, Mike, this time. I think because we are coming to the end and we've had a great room that's been discussing things back and forth with
yeah,
themselves, we should do one of the secret words. What do you think, Overlord? Since it's the end of the show and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 secret words
yeah.
to give out tonight between the different lives. Um, and this one's going to be fun because not only do you have to use the 6 secret words in a 16 line plus poem, which is pretty easy for you guys, not a big deal, but if you want the gold ticket, you
What
have
is it?
to write an ode.
Oh, you'll love
And,
writing odes. Yes.
and so that
Yeah.
is a minimum of 30 lines, 10 line stanzas, 3 minimum. An ode. Mike loves odes. So, Mike, you want to tell
Odes.
people what an ode is?
No, they can find out and write
Okay, well,
one.
you can go look it up yourself.
Yes.
Oh, you're serious. You really don't want to tell people what a note is.
Oh.
Let's tell people what a note is.
Oh dear.
And so your first word is in the room. And if you're watching back and you want to end up getting it and sending the secret word that I give you to the overlord so you can get that word, your word is ghostly. Ghostly. And if you send the word ghostly to vjhd.writer on Instagram, they will send you the secret word to use.
Right. Have they got that?
Yes.
And we know an ode is a lyrical poem on a subject or a matter or person. Or
It's a
the
worshiping, adoring.
the spring, as we're coming, we're bursting to spring. So it can
Yeah.
be, yeah,
It's yeah, when I think of odes, I just think of like overwhelming
yeah,
infatuation. Oh,
gushing forth. And I
gush,
think with the
yes.
weather breaking now, and yeah, we have where the daffodils are out, snowdrops are now there and coming towards the end, but everything else is bursting forth. And yeah, so we can do an ode to spring, or we've had that one. Was it ode to a nightingale?
Kelsey says, here are the
So
rules.
there's
Pick a
two
subject,
subjects.
a thing, or a place.
Ode
Choose
to
a
an
title.
orange.
Ode to orange. Give your subject praise or thanks. Oh, orange, so sweet. Speak directly to the object. Yes.
I did a
People
sonnet
that
to a banana. That's from
Kelsey
Google.
says that's from Google.
Yeah,
Yes. But
Google. Yeah, the College of Google. It's amazing.
show off adoration. Yes, and Mike did a sonnet to a banana. A sonnet is not an ode.
No, but it's a sonnet to a banana because someone asked if I could do a sonnet to a banana
That's true. That's
and
true.
keep it
So
and keep it clean as well.
yeah, keep it wow. And so that's your first word for a
Yes,
16 plus line. And if you're going for the gold ticket, you have to write an ode,
an
which is a
ode.
minimum of 30 lines because you need 10 lines per stanza, minimum of three stanzas.
Brilliant.
But if you want to do 20 stanzas, by golly, go for it.
Well, if you it's a serious ode, yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Yes. Um, it's a poem meant to be
to be
sung.
sung.
I don't think you have
No,
to sing an ode,
no. I think so, but it's lyrics
but
musical, like it
it's
is lyrical. Yeah, the way you speak, it's not a flat poem. It's there. It's a joyous poem.
it is. It is. It's I picture odes as people standing there just enraptured by the subject
Yeah,
matter or just really um impressed upon
yeah,
or people who might not necessarily enraptured, theatrical. Yes, Kelsey,
Yeah,
theatrical. It's over the top emotion
it
pouring
is.
out, whether it's respect or love, or I think because I think I've done it before, but I may have broken the rules. I believe you can write an ode with hatred and bitterness and anger too, can't you? Or can you
I
not?
don't
Or
know.
did
I've
I
not
just break the rules on that?
never heard it. Most of those I've read have been joyous and yeah,
Have
like you
they?
say, over the sort of,
Well, depending upon where it's coming from, those could be compliments as well. You can take her as son of a. That could be a compliment, couldn't it?
hmm.
Depending upon the perspective. I don't know.
It
I
depends who
think
you're writing it
wordplay.
to. I think.
Yeah, true, true. So thank you, everyone, and that's the first line, and this is the end of the first class. And so what we're gonna do, since YouTube's a wee bit different than Instagram, and we don't have to keep it to the single live, and because YouTube likes to do videos and most people aren't going to watch videos that are hours and hours long, when we do these classrooms or we do the wandering about and stuff, we're going to break it up into separate videos so
Yeah,
that the classroom is just the classroom video. The zombie nursery rhymes that we're going to be doing is just going to be zombie nursery rhymes on that video, so that when you're watching it back, you can watch back what you want to watch. We're still going to link everybody. We're still going to have all the
right.
timestamps and everything, but we're going to try to divide them up to fit the platform better.
And it'll be shorter videos that way, so easier to watch, easier to find.
Yes, yes. So, and Tommy says, thank you both. And thank you,
Thank
Tommy.
you.
Thank you, everybody who came. Please come back in a moment when we start it right back
Yeah,
up. Um, yes, as the Overlord says, Harry is late, so we will be doing
yeah.
the zombie rhymes last. So, what we're going to be doing next will be the secret line prompt with the villanelles.
And
So,
by the way, your villanelle was very good.
did you
Very
like
much.
it?
I did like it very much. I love the matter as well, the subject matter, and I love the way that you both work together on it
Thank
because
you.
yeah,
So it's his first villanelle. He's never done a villanelle before. And I was wanting to write a villanelle because that was the gold ticket, but you had to do it for the poem that you had
yeah,
written the prior to. And I kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping because I was trying to force it with very specific things, and
yeah.
I
It
wasn't
doesn't
feeling
work.
it. And so
Yeah,
I thought villanelle, a villain L. Why don't I disqualify myself and get
yeah,
Harry to do it
yeah.
with me, because he likes play with that. And he's like, okay, let's go. But then when we started, he threw out the first line. And after that first line, pretty much the entire villanelle, it's not us going line by line because we went
No,
back in and tweaked. It's every single line is us collabing together, intermingling to make that line the best line we possibly could. So the entire poem is a true
and like
braided
anything,
throughout it collab, and I
yeah.
enjoyed it a lot.
Getting your end rhymes in the right place and enough sensible words to use in your end rhymes to make it really cohesive and work is the way to a good villanelle.
Those end rhymes were humorous because we
Yeah,
didn't have anything left to get through to the villanelle because of the end rhymes that we chose. By the time we were at the end of the villanelle to get a whole rhyme, and we were wanting that one syllable whole
yeah.
rhyme, we had nothing left. And
No,
we were having to really pick and choose and mix, and
yeah.
so
And it's
it was fun
frustrating.
in that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was fun though.
that's what makes it
Uh,
fun because yeah, you have to choose your word choice, and that's what we're saying to people: word choice. Get your word choice, get
yeah,
it right, and because if, like I say, if you're going to force it, you'll hate it anyway.
yes.
Um, yeah, and they
And
are. Yeah,
yeah, and the Overlord said that it was their first villanelle too. So we've got multiple villanelles to read
yeah,
tonight,
which will be great.
which is
So
really exciting. Everybody did a great job, I think.
yeah, so I'll be
And
dropping later
Angela,
anyway.
yeah, oh cool. And Angela says
Mm.
that's the most beautiful kind of collab. So Oh, and Angela's first as well. It looks like we have just a whole
Yeah,
bunch of villanelles coming in first. And that excites me because the villanelle is such a beautiful poem. It
it
is such
is.
a
Yeah,
beautiful poem when done well. When not
yeah,
done well, it's like, eh, but when done well, a villanelle is just
yes.
mm,
And another one to go for is a sestina, because again, done well, they are beautiful.
gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they are
Yes.
beautiful.
So thank you, Mike.
Thank you. That's brilliant. And I think we all learned something, which is what it's about.
I think
Um,
so. And
yeah,
we're coming back tomorrow for more.
we are. So
We are.
yeah, hope you
So
enjoyed it. I certainly did.
I
And it's
did. I
always great
did.
going
Thank you
live.
so much.
Okay, cheers. Catch you later.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. See
Bye.
y'all in a bit. I'll be
Yeah,
starting it right back up.
yeah.
Bye, guys.